Hello everyone. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in SoCal. The snow is still on the mountains. The rains have stopped. And I just went into the garden this morning and I found tons of tomatoes, fresh, ripe tomatoes. And the first thing that came to my mind is a Chettinadu fish curry, which is nice and tart with tamarind, and at the same time it's so flavorful that you can't avoid licking your fingers. So today I'm going to help you make a nice Chettinadu fish curry. And fish curry in general comes in different forms. Each state has its own version of fish curry in India, and this is particularly from a region called Chettinad, which is known for its authentic masalas and authentic style of cooking. Delicious curry that goes well with your rice and your idli or dosa, and it always tastes best the very next day. Not the same day, but the next day. So save some for later. And this particular version has a grinding in the end where you dry fry certain ingredients and add to the curry, which adds tons of flavor. Please do not skip it. Watch it till the end and let me know what you think. So let's get ready to cook our Chettinadu fish curry. So let's make our Chettinadu fish curry. These are the ingredients all laid out, but the first and important step is to dry roast equal proportion of black peppercorn, cumin seeds, black mustard seeds, and about 1/8 very small portion of fenugreek seeds, because it needs to kind of not make the whole curry bitter. So add very less of fenugreek, the rest and all equal proportion. Just dry roast it till your fenugreek turns color and the black mustard seeds pop. And then you cool it and grind it to a nice powder and use it at the end when you're about to turn off the stove. Mix it with the curry, and that adds tons of flavor. So please don't skip this step. So we have for sauteing, there is two process. Okay, we're going to saute all the onion, ginger, garlic, some ingredients, and then grind it to a nice smooth paste, and again saute some garlic and onion and make the curry. Okay, so follow through. So in a pan I'm going to add a little bit of sesame oil. So pan with the oil. We'll first add our Kalpasi. This is an important aspect. Okay, it is stone flower or stone moss. It looks ugly but adds tons of flavor, so don't skip it. If you don't have this, it's not a Chettinadu curry. Okay, so very little, and add a little bit of curry leaves and add your onions. And your ginger garlic. I'm just adding whole because we're going to grind it all to a nice smooth paste. Okay, saute it well, and we're going to add our chopped tomatoes. So meanwhile, I have soaked few of tilapia limes. These come in this pack, so it's all portioned, but each piece I will chop into like 5 pieces so it becomes flavorful in the curry. I'm just letting it sit in the water to thaw because it's frozen. You can get fresh fish and use any fish for that matter. And once it's thawed, I'm going to rinse it once and then add it to my curry. Okay, and make sure you chop it to your desired size. Our onions have sauteed well. We have to make it nice and caramelized a little bit. That adds tons of flavor. Now we'll add our tomatoes. I have chopped about 3 tomatoes. Actually, these are from my garden that I harvested this morning. Nothing like fresh tomatoes from your garden. No additives or no fertilizer or anything. Just fresh, juicy tomatoes. What a joy to use fresh tomatoes from your own garden. So saute it well till it gets nice and mushy. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt, which will make it for the gravy as well. So you don't have to add additional salt unless you really need it. get it mushy, and I'll add all my powders right now. I'll put all the ingredients in the description box. So we have a handy dandy masala box. Let's put it next to the stove. Let's go ahead and add about half a teaspoon of turmeric powder and 3 heaping spoons of coriander powder. Dhania. Always I do 1:3 of dhania and chili powder, and 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder for color, and 1 spoon of cayenne. We have green chilies also in this recipe, so don't overdo the spice. You can always adjust later. And then I'm going to add a little bit of jeera, very small portion of jeera. Okay, because we're going to grind and add in the end also. So be very careful. And add a teaspoon of salt. At my age, I don't really measure much, but if you need more, you can add more. So saute it well, and we're going to grind this into a nice smooth paste, and we are going to saute a few more ingredients before our curry is done. Okay, it looks such a pretty color. So onion masala has been cooling. If you were doing a regular fish curry, you would just season the pan with mustard seeds, fenugreek, curry leaves, and some green chilies and all that, and do the same process and add the tamarind sauce right away and the fish and etc. But in Chettinadu version, you need to saute and grind it to a nice smooth paste before you can add your fish and everything. And here, in the meanwhile, I have chopped some shallots, some garlic again. We're going to grind some and then saute some. It adds a tons of flavor. And we have some curry leaf. I've extracted some tamarind out of a nice big chunk of tamarind that I soaked. It's about 1.5 cups. And then I've ground the dry masala that will go in the end. Okay, the cumin, black peppercorns, the black mustard seeds, and a bit of fenugreek. And I have some green chilies for sauteing as well. It is just slit up on the top, so don't go through all the way. In the curry, it'll be like whole ones, and people like to eat it that way. You can add as many as you want, but I just limited to 2 because we have enough chili powder in our curry. So I reserved some cilantro and some curry leaf for later for garnish. Okay, so save that. Let's get whipping our curry. Okay, we're gonna grind our paste to grind our onion and tomatoes and the masalas to a nice smooth paste. Masalas in the jar, and don't throw away the washings. That's what we're gonna add for our gravy. It's about 1.5 cups, and grind it along. So our masala has been ground. Our tamarind extract is ready. Our fish has been chopped up, and I have my powder ready, and I have a stove with about 4 tablespoons of oil. We're going to season it and get our shallots and green chilies and garlic, everything sauteed. Okay, let's put our curry together, and always use sesame oil if you're making any curry which involves tamarind. It actually enhances the flavor a great deal. So don't skimp on it. Get a nice quality sesame oil for yourself. And recently I found one which had a nice spatula also with it. They gave this for free, which is really good quality stuff. So find one. Because of the Pongal and festive season, they included this. And I fell for it. But it looks like it's worth it. So oil is heated. Let's start with 1/8 teaspoon of fenugreek seeds. We have some coming up in the grinding also, the powder. And then we add about a teaspoon or so of mustard seeds. I'll put all the ingredients in the description box. Once it crackles, add about 1/4 teaspoon of sesame seeds. since we add it in the grindings again. Be mindful, don't overdo it. How beautifully your food talks to you. Now we'll go ahead and add our shallots, and everything goes in, okay? I love garlic in my fish curry. You can add as much as you want. It's good for you. Lowers your cholesterol. And these shallots are very specific to this recipe because they add tons of flavor. I know it takes time to peel it. Always soak them ahead of time with warm water so it's easy to peel. This sauteing is important. Then we'll add our ground masala and our tamarind extract. The onion is sauteed very well. For this next step, keep a lid handy, okay? Because things are going to splatter. So let's lower the flame and add our grind mixie jar contents. See how I told you it's going to splatter? If your heat was high, it would have all bounced on your face. So give it a good stir. Because we were careful, not too much drama in the pan. So let it just mingle for 2 seconds and pour about half a cup of water and rinse this and pour it into the curry as well. So that is our grinding washings. Now let's go ahead and add our tamarind extract. I have about 1.5 cups of it. Be careful, don't add the end because it has all the shells and everything, because I use the fresh tamarind. So mix it well, let it simmer on medium heat for about 10 to 15 minutes and come together. Adjust the heat and salt, everything, and let it thicken a little bit more. Okay, then we'll add a chopped up fish. So my gravy has been simmering for about 10 minutes. I put a lid so it'll all kind of come together. My gravy is thickened considerably. Give it a nice gentle stir. And then we will add our powder and our fish pieces. Okay, the dry ground powder that we did in the beginning, we're going to add that along with the fish pieces. Give it a good whisk so it doesn't form lumps. This is what adds the chetty in the Chettinadu. Okay, see how the color changed? The Kalpasi and these spices are the best for this recipe. If you don't have Kalpasi, please do not make this recipe because that's what adds tons of flavor. It's always found in the Indian store. Ask for sea moss, not sea moss. There's Kalpasi, which is not the right one. It's Kalpasi. Okay, stone flower, I think. I don't know the exact English word, but please research and find one in your local Indian store. Our gravy has been simmering with our powder, the ground powder that we added. The secret to this Chettinadu recipe is you add about a teaspoon of jaggery at the end, which will just enhance the flavor. And today I have brown sugar, 1 teaspoon, not more, okay? We're going to add 1 teaspoon. You can add jaggery or sugar, anything that you have. Very small portion. And in general, when the masalas are all cooked, the oil will float up to the surface. Okay, since we started out with very less oil, I don't have much, but once we add the fish and let it simmer, and once it cools down, there will be the oil floating on the surface, which actually makes it look so delicious. Okay, let's go ahead and add our chopped up fish. It's been waiting for quite some time. Just throw it randomly and don't stir, okay? Otherwise it'll break into pieces. So be very gentle. Fish doesn't take long to cook, just 4 minutes. Add it, make sure it's all submerged. And in 2 minutes, I'm going to give it a gentle stir again. And very gentle, very, very gentle. Okay, make sure it's all submerged. Put a lid and we will come back in 4 minutes. Lower the heat as well. Our curry has been simmering away for 4 to 5 minutes. I in fact turned it, gave it a little stir at 2 minutes. Now we'll just turn off the stove and garnish with cilantro and curry leaves. This is our final touch, and our fish curry, Chettinadu fish curry, is ready to be served. You can serve it with some plain rice or idli, dosa, whatever you have, and it definitely tastes the best the next day. Okay, so enjoy Chettinadu fish curry and let me know in the comment box what you think. And also please like, share and subscribe so we can get the channel up and running. Thanks for watching. Bye.